Dillon Gabriel today talked about the balance between taking those shots downfield and taking care of the football.
I think there always will be. I think there'll be a balance of either way, right? Either pushing it down the field or maybe a balance of when people, think you should check it down. And I think that's the balance you work through as a quarterback. And whenever we're in the meeting room, you try to continue to push that balance of when in zone coverage you can high-low and be more aggressive or bait a defender into taking something. And then there's times where you want to have an immediate reaction, depending on things happening up front or down the field, right? So I think it's just that balance you're continuing to fight. But like I've said before, you want explosives in the pass game, not only vertical throws, but also maybe a 5-yard throw that can go for 20. So any explosives really help.
So, Tom, what have you thought of Gabriel? I want to see. I want to see him get some time to throw and see the field. I know he's missed throws, and you go back and you dissect all that, and I get it. I guess I want to see more of it. I want to see what it's like if he gets 2.5 seconds to throw instead of 2.2 or 2.1.
Yeah, and how about somebody holds on to the ball? That would be another change as well. And it's interesting that he just mentions the 5-yard completion that can turn into a 20-yard gain. That's on that receiving core. And let's be quite honest. I mean, this receiving core at this point is amongst the worst in the NFL. Jerry Jeudy with a number of drops. They've had health issues, right? Cedric Tillman, who I was really counting on having a big year for them, going down with an injury. And then you've got some young guys you really don't know anything about yet. Isaiah Bond, we don't know enough about. Thrash has had a couple moments in the sun where it's looked like, okay, he could be potentially some guy that could help them down the road. So, yeah, it's such a small sample size right now, Dave, for Dillon. I mean, I think people need to take a little break here. Let's think about, what this kid has been thrown into. So they make the switch. They bench Joe Flacco. They put him out there. His first start comes on the road in London, oh, by the way, against a Minnesota team that had been in Europe for 2 weeks with a pretty damn good defense. So I thought he accounted for himself very well in that game. You mentioned the no turnovers, which has obviously been drilled into his head after the way Flacco played over the first 4 weeks. So he hasn't turned the ball over. So his second start then comes on the road, oh, by the way, in Pittsburgh against a Steelers defense that was pinning its ears back and ready to get after him like they always do against every quarterback, never mind a rookie. And then his first start at home comes in, essentially a downpour for the first half against, not a good Dolphins team by any means, but a team that understood what the Browns were going to try to do, and they game planned accordingly, and they kind of kept him contained, and he didn't make many big shots down the field because there weren't many. Now, it's easy on Monday morning or Sunday night or whatever it is that you want to look at the all-22 and say, oh, he missed an open guy there. Oh, he missed an open guy there. Quarterbacks miss guys all the time, whether it's Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Dillon Gabriel. It happens. It's part of the game. I just think people are nitpicking this kid to death, especially because you got Shedeur Sanders sitting there behind him. And I know that there is a large portion of Browns fans and football fans in general that are curious to see what Shedeur Sanders is all about. I will also say that, Dillon Gabriel to this point has outplayed the number one pick in this year's draft, Cam Ward. So again, like you said before, Dave, let's give this a little bit of time. Let's let it breathe. Let's see what this kid can do on the road now. He's got a tough game this week at New England. They get the bye. Then they face a bad Jets team on the road. Let's give this kid a chance.
Yeah, I'm with you. And you know what? I do want to see Sanders. We don't get to see, even the media that's covering him day in and day out doesn't get to see what Sanders is doing. Let's let him work and continue to get better. I know it came out he's not getting reps with the ones. To be honest with you, if you have a rookie starting, he shouldn't be getting reps with the ones.
He gets all the reps.
You're a rookie.
Reps.
You're a rookie. That's life in the NFL as a backup. That's why you don't want a rookie as a backup, because he doesn't get any reps. So
and they're giving and sorry to interrupt, Dave. So they're giving Shedeur though plenty of opportunities in practice.
Right.
It's not like he's not getting on the field at all, right? And we're out there for the first 10 or 15 minutes or maybe longer than that, 3 days a week, and we get to see these guys throw side by side. Shedeur throws a nice ball. I'll be the first to say it, but guess what? there's so much that goes into being a starting quarterback in the NFL. I think that's what people forget. There is that processing of plays. There's being able to repeat the play in the huddle after it's given to you from the coach. It's being able to then analyze the defense pre-snap, then drop back, then go through your reads and lead. There's just so much more that goes on to it than just the eye test of seeing a guy drop back and throw the ball. Listen, Shedeur played well during the summer. Like there were times in camp where I was really impressed with him. Then obviously he goes out in the first game against Carolina in the exhibition season, plays exceedingly well against a pretty bad defense, but it is what it is. Then he goes out there with another chance against the Rams and just looks horrible. And the other thing that I think people forget too is that he's a 5th round pick for a reason. Now people can say, okay, there was collusion or what have you, and he dropped to the 5th line. The fact is that he dropped to the fifth round. And I'm so tired of hearing people talk about how the Browns are sabotaging this kid. They were the only team that was willing to take him. He is their draft pick. They are invested in him. So this idea that they're working behind the scenes to make it tough on Shedeur is absolute nonsense.
They would not. They've been looking for a quarterback since 1999. If this guy can play quarterback, he's going to be.
He might be him.
He's going to be in there.